I'm a competitor. I want to win. Simple as that. Simple as that.
Now let me ask you something. Would you stand in front of a train that was coming at you full speed, or would you move out the way? Hopefully we all choose the same exact decision. If you decided you were going to try to stay in front of it thinking you could stop it, well, this right here will be your fate.
Williamson throws his big ball into Palo.
When Zion Williamson makes his way on the floor, this is when things get tough for opposing defenses, because not only is it the power that they have to worry about, as when he throws in that speed, this is what starts to unlock his whole game. And then when you add in how fluid he can be, this is when you know for sure that you're dealing with a lethal force. For the first time in his career, Zion played 70 games, showing everyone what he can do when healthy, and for most of us, that was our biggest concern. It always seemed like injuries and things of that nature were holding Zion back, but after a year like we just seen, it's foolproof that Zion has worked on his game overall. I know that most of his scoring comes from getting to the basket, and to some people that might get a little boring at times, but if you watch the way he can move on the floor, you certainly are always entertained. It's really not often that you see someone who's 270 plus move on the court with this much speed, and to top it off, they can leap in the air like they have a built-in trampoline to complete this nasty oop. This ability to get out and take advantage of the open floor is what jumpstarts Zion's engine, as it allows him to get the gears rolling, and once he does, well, it's pretty much a done deal. You can't be lazy whatsoever when getting back on D, or else he'll get out behind everyone in a split second, and before you know it, he's throwing it down. Not only does this happen when he's moving without the ball, as once Zion gets a hold of it and has his sights set, it doesn't matter if you send 3 defenders to try and stop him, Zion's gonna use that speed and power to push right through him and then glide in the air to sink this at the buzzer. Yeah, I know, that man was flying down the floor. It's really quite incredible at his size that he can move like this, and if you're to put your attention to the bottom of your screen, you're gonna locate Zion, and just watch how he turns on the jets to go slam it down at the buffet. To be effective like this, whether he has the ball or not in the open floor, is extremely valuable, because these will be the easiest buckets of the game for Zion, and they boost his confidence for when he has to go work in that half court. Being versatile like this grants so many options, and for one is going to be the ability to use him off ball. Say there's a smaller guy the Pelicans want to involve in a screen action for the switch, well, Zion can be sent to be the screener, and with Steph Curry now fronting, this lob over the top to Zion is wide open, which makes for an easy snatch out the air to then go lay it in. These pick and rolls open up a lot more than just a simple lob pass over the top, as when 2 defenders commit to the ball handler allowing for Zion to catch it off the roll, this is when that sheer force comes in handy off the one dribble when attacking, and is pretty much a clash inside to see who wants it more. Those quick one dribble power bounces in these plays are what lead to Zion punishing defenses inside, as on this play when Zion is moving downhill with momentum, all it takes is that one hard dribble to give him his power up, and with someone this big moving this fluid, just go ahead and give it up. Now you've seen that Zion can move well on the court without the ball, and this is a main reason as to why defenses have such a hard time with him. It's not necessarily that this is the best way for him to score or anything like that, but it's that unlike other players who aren't great 3-point shooters, Zion understands how to use his body to be used as a screener to free himself up or his guys, but also he understands that value of moving off ball and making himself available. You truly can't afford to get caught up ball watching heavy just forgetting about him on the backside, because if you do, well, he's sneaking right behind you for the easy two-hander. Sometimes it's not your fault at first, as your guards here should have communicated and someone should have stayed with the cutter, but that doesn't happen, which makes Rui slide over, and by the time he turns around when the pass is made, Zion is already loading up for the power slam. It's honestly a lot of responsibility you have when guarding Zion, because you'll think you're in good position after he sets this screen, but this is all a setup so the ball can move from here to right here freely, and for Zion to move from here to here freely. So with the defender unaware of the back screen, he gets caught up, but in return, he gets first class tickets on the Zion Airlines. Yeah, tell me about it. Running routes on the floor is probably one of the most underrated skills. And please don't think it's all easy either, because you'll eventually have to get more crafty, so that's why you see Zion faking a post up right here to then spin off reads and go slam it home. Now, as much as these plays entertain us and give Zion easier ways to get buckets, he eventually must start creating for himself, and this is where things get really fun. I mean, you tell me, where shall we start? Do we dive right into how he utilizes that power to go right through defenders? Do we talk about the quick movements in deeper detail and how this helps him score with less resistance? Or do we go straight to the glitz and the glamour on his crafty ways he navigates to the bucket to go score? I truly don't know, but if you ask me, the quick movements is probably the package we should unwrap first. It's not that Zion is someone we think about when we talk about speed, but with his ability to lull the defender to sleep to then burst out into an attack, it adds another layer of versatility the defense has to worry about. Right here, if you watch the floor when Zion comes off the screen, you'll notice that 3 defenders are in position ready to combat the drive, even so much they give up space to a decent shooter. But with Zion having that absurd acceleration, he can explode to the rim off this crossover, beating everyone, and is pretty much a one-on-one date at the rim with some minor distractions. As a defender, you will have these times where you feel like you have him contained, but when a side is cleared out and you have no real backline threat, well, this is a recipe for disaster since Zion can explode out his moves, and then once met by the help shifting over, he can use an acrobatic adjustment to go slip this in on the other side of the rim. So hey, catch him if you can, or don't catch him at all, because here the first defender couldn't keep up whatsoever, and with everything happening so fast, the second defender just wasn't prepared to contest him. Now yes, it is amazing to see a guy his size be able to spot an opening in the defense to then explode right to it and not be touched on his way to completion, but this speed wouldn't even be appreciated if it wasn't for him being able to finish. When Zion gets to his spots on the floor, a lot of the time he's going to be met with bigger guys who want to make that contact, but with Williamson, he has this skill set of maneuvering his body in the most fluid ways to avoid as much contact with the defense as possible. Coming off this pick and roll here, Zion is met with Derek Lively, who he's comfortable with taking it at, but now with the neighborhood watch pulling up for the help, Zion decides to duck under to gain some cover and sneaks in the bucket before the HOA shows up. If you look around the league, you're not going to see many guys his size speeding past smaller guys with the crossover to then leap from one side of the paint to avoid the defense with the reverse on the other side, or let alone just float through the air like a small guard knifing through the lane. The way Zion makes avoiding the defense on these layups look easy should say a lot about his game and just how versatile he can be. But hey, it's not every time that he'll be avoiding the defense once getting in the air, as he can serve a Euro to get to his spots before taking off, and now he's laying it in with no problem. Like, let's all be honest, there's only so much speed and in-air adjusting that you can lean on, so that's where Zion being able to break defenders off before getting inside comes into play. You'll see defenses start closing in on him when he's initiating the drive, and instead of trying to bulldoze through him, Zion feeds that spin move to get to the other side of the lane. At times it'll be a whole side cleared out for Zion to go to and attack, but like I always say, you must have many counters for what the defense does. So when he feels that friction going right, he decides to spin off to go attack the rim, and if there's any slight opening, Zion will find a way to slip through it. Trust me, try and funnel him into a bad situation all you want, but here's where you present that opportunity for him to spin back the other way, and if he's faced with some contact, it truly doesn't matter. We all know that Zion is this strong force who can rarely be stopped, so who cares if there's a roadblock in his way, he'll just plow right through it. There's just multiple different ways you can utilize Zion within the offense, and I think this past season we got to see it on full display. Whether it was these nasty lobs, getting crafty to get to the bucket, or using that driving threat to his advantage to then go set up teammates, Zion Williamson showcased just how skilled he is when healthy, and the league should definitely be on notice. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you're first to know when I upload. I thank you all for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.